Listen, I know you feel the weight of it. The stillness that seems more like stagnation. The doors that appear not just closed, but locked and bolted shut by circumstances you can't control. You've prayed, you've hoped, you've waited, and the silence has been the loudest sound in your room. You look at your situation, the need, the lack, the unresolved tension, the dream that seems to be gathering dust, and you wonder if your voice ever truly left this room. Let me speak into that silence now. This quiet time you are in is not evidence of my absence. It is the very theater of my greatest work. What you perceive as a delay is a divine incubation. I am working in the unseen realms, aligning what you have asked for with who you are becoming. The answer is not late. It is perfectly timed to meet a version of you that is ready to receive it without it destroying you, without it becoming an idol, without it limiting my glory in your life. You have been asking for a thing, but I have been crafting a testimony. The thing will come, but it will arrive wrapped in a story so specific, so personal, that you will have no choice but to acknowledge it was my hand and not your striving. I see the exhaustion that comes from trying to figure it all out. Your mind runs in circles, tracing and retracing the same worn-out paths of logic, trying to engineer a breakthrough with sheer human ingenuity. You lie awake at night, mapping possibilities, calculating risks, rehearsing conversations. You carry the mental burden, as if the outcome rests solely on your ability to plan and persuade. My child, release that burden. The pressure you feel to make it happen is not from me. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. This heaviness is the weight of a responsibility I never asked you to carry. I am not a manager waiting for you to submit the perfect proposal. I am your father, waiting for you to collapse into trusting surrender. The answer you seek cannot be manufactured in the anxiety-driven workshops of your own mind. It is being birthed in the quiet trust of your spirit. Cease the mental striving. The breakthrough you need will not come from a new idea you generate, but from a peace you receive. When you quiet the noise of your own scheming, you will finally hear the gentle whisper of my direction. I am not hiding the blueprint from you. I am inviting you to walk with me step by step, not demanding you see the entire journey from the start. Your faith is not measured by how much of the plan you can decipher, but by how completely you can rest in the planner. Look at the circumstances that seem so permanent, so immovable. That financial gap, that health report, that broken relationship, that professional ceiling, they present themselves as concrete walls. You've pushed against them until you are bruised and weary. You are looking at them and measuring my power by their solidity. You are wrong. You are measuring the wrong thing. Do not measure my willingness or ability by the height of the wall. Measure the wall against the power of my spoken word. Every wall you face is temporary scaffolding, not permanent architecture. It exists only to be dismantled at the appointed time for the demonstration of my glory. Your situation is not a monument to lack. It is a stage for supply. It is not a testament to sickness. It is a platform for healing. It is not proof of rejection. It is the setting for divine reconciliation. The very stubbornness of the problem is what will make the victory unmistakably mine. You worry that time is running out, that the opportunity is passing. But I hold time. I am not late. I am deliberate. I am using every single second of this waiting period to fortify your faith, to purify your motives, to disconnect you from other dependencies, so that when the answer comes, the gratitude lands wholly at my feet. The wall is not there to stop you. It is there to train you to trust in a strength that is not your own. You have whispered prayers in the dark that you're almost ashamed of, thinking they might be too small for my attention or too grand for my provision. You have needs that feel embarrassingly practical: a bill, a repair, a practical solution. You have dreams that feel audaciously large, a vision that seems to dwarf your current reality. Hear me. I am the God of both. I care about the details of your daily bread as intimately as I care about the destiny written upon your life. The prayer for your daily need and the prayer for your lifelong purpose are on equal footing in my heart. Do not discount the small things. Your faithfulness in the practical is the training ground for the monumental. The answer to your immediate need is already in motion. It may come through a sudden idea, an unexpected check, a favor from an unlikely person, a discount, a discovery. Watch for it. It is the first trickle of the coming flood. And the grand dream? It is not a fantasy. It is a foretelling. I placed it within you. I am not in the business of teasing my children with impossible desires. I plant seeds of destiny. That longing is a homing beacon, drawing you toward the purpose I crafted for you before you took your first breath. The path to it is not by striving, but by obedience. The dream will unfold as you walk faithfully in the small things I place before you today. The answer is a journey, not just a destination. There is a restlessness in you that mistakes stillness for inactivity. You feel you should be doing more, hustling more, networking more, forcing a door open. That impulse is often the enemy of my process. There is a time for vigorous action, but it must be born from a place of spirit-led confidence, not fear-driven anxiety. This quiet time is your training ground to distinguish between the two. The action I anoint comes from a heart at peace, not a spirit in panic. So in these quiet times, practice peace. When the urge to strive rises, consciously surrender it. Speak it out loud. I release this burden to you. I trade my striving for your peace. This is not passive resignation. It is active faith. It is the most powerful thing you can do. It transfers the weight from your shoulders to mine. And when the moment for action comes, I will make it undeniably clear. It will feel like a release, not a strain. It will feel like a door swinging open before you, not a wall you must scale. Until that moment, your primary work is to cultivate trust. Nourish your spirit with my promises. Guard your mind from narratives of lack and fear. Your internal world is the command center. As you maintain peace and faith there, you authorize me to rearrange the circumstances in your external world. The breakthrough begins within. You are not alone in the wait. I am with you in the quiet. The silence is not emptiness. It is intimacy. It is in the quiet that you learn to hear my voice not as a thunderclap of direction, but as the constant, gentle whisper of my presence. I am with you. I am for you. It is done. This is what I am speaking over you now. The answer is already secured in the heavenly realms. What you are experiencing is the gap between the decree and the delivery. That gap is filled with my grace, meant for your transformation. So, let the quiet do its work. Let it sand down your rough edges of impatience. Let it deepen your roots of trust beyond the shallow soil of instant gratification. Your answer is coming. It is not a question of if, but of when. And my when is perfect. Until then, stand, trust, breathe. I am working. The first movements have already begun. You will see the evidence soon. The waiting has created a space within you, a hollowed-out place where your own plans used to sit. That emptiness feels like vulnerability, but it is the most precious kind of readiness. It is the cleared ground where I will build. You are looking for external signs, and they will come. But the first and most important shift is internal. There is a subtle recalibration happening in your spirit right now. The anxiety that used to be your default setting is losing its grip. Moments of unexpected peace will catch you off guard. A deep breath in the middle of the storm. A spontaneous thought of gratitude when you look at what you do have. A sudden detachment from the frantic need to control the outcome. This is not you becoming careless or giving up. This is the supernatural peace I promised, garrisoning your heart and mind. It is the evidence that my word is active and alive within you, doing its work before a single external circumstance changes. Do not dismiss these quiet moments of peace as distractions. They are the foundation. When the winds of change begin to blow, and they will, this inner stability will be your anchor. You will not be shaken because you are being rooted not in the shifting sands of situation, but in the bedrock of my character. Your trust is moving from a theory you agree with to a substance you are standing on. Now watch the periphery of your life. The answer often enters not through the main gate you've been staring at, but through a side door you hadn't considered. I am a God of creativity and surprise. The solution to your financial need may not be the promotion you've been fixated on, but an idea for a simple service, an unexpected inheritance of skill, or a connection with someone whose need matches your ability. The healing may not come in the way medical journals describe, but through a combination of wisdom, gradual strength, and a peace that restores your body from the inside out. The relationship may not be restored to its old form, which was broken for a reason, but may be replaced with a new, healthier connection that honors the lessons learned. You have prayed with a specific image in your head of how the answer should look. I am asking you to release that image. My answer will be better. It will fit the person you have become in this waiting period, not the person you were when you first started praying. Be willing to recognize my hand even when it doesn't wear the glove you expected. You will begin to notice a series of small, seemingly coincidental events. A song on the radio that speaks directly to your situation. A friend calling out of the blue with a word of encouragement that hits a target they knew nothing about. A book falling off a shelf, open to a relevant page. A chance meeting in a line at a store. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are my way of whispering, I see you. I am here. The machinery of heaven is engaged on your behalf. Pay attention to these God winks. They are the trail of breadcrumbs leading you out of the forest of doubt. They are meant to fuel your faith, to give you tangible proof that I am orchestrating details. Do not rationalize them away. Acknowledge them. Thank me for them. Let them build your confidence. Each one is a love note and a promise. The cumulative effect of these small signs will create a momentum in your spirit that will make the final breakthrough feel almost inevitable. There will also be a shift in your own abilities and perceptions. Where there was once confusion, a clear path will emerge in your mind. Where there was creative block, a flow of ideas will begin. Where there was social anxiety, a gentle boldness will rise. This is me, activating the gifts I placed within you, equipping you for the new season that the answer will usher in. You are not just waiting for something. You are being prepared for something. The provision is not separate from the purpose. The answer to your prayer is also the key to your next assignment. I am not just giving you a fish to end your hunger. I am preparing you to learn to fish, to feed others, and to manage the pond. Therefore, the waiting is essential training. The character being built is as vital as the request being answered. You are being entrusted with more, so you must become more. The strength you are gaining now is the container for the blessing that is coming. A small, fragile container cannot hold a deluge. I am strengthening your capacity, your emotional capacity, your spiritual capacity, your practical capacity, so that when the floodgates open, you are not overwhelmed, but you are able to channel the flow, to steward the blessing, and to distribute it wisely. Resist the temptation to put a human timeline on my promise. You think in terms of days, weeks, and months. I operate in the fullness of time. My schedule is not a straight line. It is a tapestry, weaving together threads from countless lives and circumstances to create a perfect, beautiful outcome. The delay you lament is often me waiting for another person to get into position, for a circumstance to ripen, for a door to become unguardable. I am not just working on your heart. I am working on the entire ecosystem of your life. Trust the complexity of my orchestration. Your job is not to understand the timeline, but to maintain your posture of trust and obedience within it. The moment of manifestation will come when its impact will be maximized. For your good, for the good of others, and for my glory, it will be worth the wait. The joy of that moment will retroactively make sense of the struggle. You will look back and see the necessity of every single day of waiting. You will not wish you had received it a moment sooner, because you will understand how unprepared you would have been. So, today, in this quiet time, make a decision. Decide to transition from anxious waiting to joyful anticipation. The former is heavy and draining. The latter is light and energizing. Anticipation is faith in a good mood. Start thanking me for the answer as if you can already see it on the horizon. Declare my promises over your life, not to manipulate me into action, but to align your atmosphere with the truth of heaven. Your words have creative power. Use them to build a climate of faith around you. Speak to the mountain of your need and command it to be removed, not with desperate screaming, but with the calm authority of someone who knows the Creator is on their side. This is your spiritual practice in the quiet: thanksgiving, declaration, and steadfast peace. This is how you partner with my process. This is how you welcome the answer that is already on its way. The quiet you are in is not a vacuum. It is a charged space, pregnant with potential. It is the moment between the lightning flash and the thunderclap. The light has already been released. The atmospheric shift has occurred. What you are experiencing now is the necessary, inevitable journey of the sound wave to your ears. The answer has been dispatched from the throne room. It travels on a frequency of faith, and your continued trust is the receiver that pulls it into your tangible reality. Do not misinterpret this period for emptiness. It is the opposite. It is a realm thick with angelic activity, with the rearrangement of cosmic elements, with the softening of hearts and the aligning of resources. You are asking, when will something happen? While all of heaven is shouting, so much is happening. The stillness is the sign of profound, behind-the-veil work, the kind that lays an unshakable foundation. A builder is quietest when pouring the foundation, and that foundation must set, before the beautiful house can be erected on top. I am ensuring that what I build for you lasts, that it withstands every storm and season. The quiet is the sound of the foundation curing. You have been conditioned by a world of instant everything to believe that speed equals efficiency and that waiting equals dysfunction. My economy operates on a different principle: ripeness. Everything in my creation operates on a cycle of seed, growth, and harvest. You are in the growth stage. It is invisible, underground, but it is the most vital part of the process. To pull up the seed now to check for a root would be to kill the plant. Your faith is the soil, and your patience is the water. The growth is guaranteed by my covenant. The harvest is an inevitability, not a hopeful possibility. The specific form of your answer is even now taking shape, cell by cell, in the unseen. You cannot rush a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. The struggle is part of the mechanism that pumps strength into its wings. Your struggle in the wait is not punishment. It is the very process that is expanding your capacity, pumping spiritual strength into the wings of your destiny. If I delivered the answer in your initial timing, you would be too weak to fly with it. You would be grounded by the very blessing you sought. Let's talk about the practical realm, because faith must have feet. You will feel a new prompting to move, but it will come as a gentle nudge of peace, not a frantic shove of anxiety. It may be to reach out to someone, to enroll in a course, to declutter a space, to draft a plan. These actions will feel different. They will feel light, almost obvious. This is me, guiding you step by step. Do not demand to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step in faith. That first step of obedience in peace is often the key that unlocks the next piece of the puzzle. Your part is not to build the entire solution, but to follow my instructions as they come, one at a time. As you do, you will find that resources materialize, people respond, and doors open just as you need them to. This is the walk of faith. It is collaborative. I provide the direction and the power. You provide the obedience and the trust. The answer is a journey we walk together. Beware of the counterattack. When the enemy sees that you have settled into a place of patient, expectant trust, which is your most powerful position, he will intensify his efforts to shake you. Old doubts will resurface with new intensity. A new, seemingly more urgent problem may arise to distract you. People may speak words of discouragement, often disguised as realism. This is not a sign you are off track. It is a sign you are dangerously on track and he is panicking. He is trying to provoke you back into anxiety and striving, back into the place where you take the burden onto your own shoulders. See it for what it is, a pathetic attempt to derail a divine process. Your response is simple. Stand firm in the peace I have given you. Do not engage the doubt in lengthy argument. Dismiss it. Quote my promise back to the fear. My God shall supply all my need. He who promised is faithful. The answer is coming. Your calm, unwavering stance in the face of these attacks is a spiritual act of war that secures the ground we are gaining. There is also a preparation of your relationships underway. I am pruning connections that drain your faith and nurturing those that strengthen it. Some people may drift away naturally. Do not chase them. Their season in your life may be complete. Others will draw closer, and you will find a new depth of fellowship with those who are also seeking my face. New, strategic alliances will form. People who carry a piece of your puzzle, whose gifts complement yours. Do not force these. Let me orchestrate them. Your vulnerability and testimony in this waiting period will become a beacon to others who are struggling. Your quiet confidence will speak louder than any boastful proclamation of victory. You are being positioned as a living witness, not of a perfect, pain-free life, but of a faithful God who sustains and delivers in the midst of the wait. Finally, guard your heart against the subtle poison of resentment. It is easy, in a long wait, to start feeling overlooked, to see others receiving their answers, and to let a seed of, "What about me?" take root. That seed produces the bitter fruit of comparison and entitlement, which poisons the well of faith. My child, your story is uniquely yours. My plan for you is meticulously tailored. Another's public victory has nothing to do with your private process. Their harvest time does not dictate yours. Rejoice with them sincerely, for their testimony fuels the atmosphere of faith for everyone. Your time is coming, and it will be perfectly fitted to you. The blessings I have for you are so specific that they could not be given to anyone else. They have your name on them. So let go of looking sideways. Keep your eyes on me. Your answer is not behind another person. It is ahead of you, on the path I have laid at your feet. Walk forward, in the quiet confidence that every step is bringing you closer. The horizon is beginning to lighten. Dawn is inevitable. The dawn you are beginning to sense is not a metaphor. It is a literal shift in the spiritual atmosphere surrounding your life. The heaviness that felt like a permanent fog is lifting because the decree has gone forth. I have spoken a word over your situation that carries creative power, a word that cannot return to me void, a word that must accomplish what I sent it to do. That word is now in motion, traveling through the invisible realms, dissolving opposition, commanding alignment. The pressure you feel changing is the sound of that word moving, like the deep, subsonic rumble before an earthquake. Things that have been stuck for years are beginning to tremble on their foundations. You may not see the movement yet, but you can feel the vibration in your spirit. That holy unsettledness is not anxiety, it is anticipation. It is the inner witness confirming that what I promised is now transitioning from the realm of spirit into the realm of substance. Your part in this phase is to echo my word. Agree with it. Speak it out. Your voice is the conduit that brings the spiritual reality into the natural one. When you declare, "My God is supplying all my needs," You are not stating a hopeful wish. You are signing the receipt for a delivery already en route. Your faith is the confirmation of the order. Do not be alarmed if, just before the breakthrough, there is a sudden intensification of lack or opposition. This is the last, desperate gasp of the old season. It is the shadow that appears darkest, just before the light obliterates it. A final bill may arrive, an old wound may flare up, a critic may speak up. See it for what it is, a sign of imminent collapse. The enemy knows his time is short in this area of your life, so he throws one last assault, hoping to make you renounce your faith in anger or despair. Stand. Do not flinch. Your calm declaration of trust in that moment is the final blow that shatters the chain. This is the spiritual principle. The greatest pressure comes right before the release. Remember the birth process. The moment of greatest pain and pressure is the moment just before new life emerges. You are in that sacred, painful, powerful moment. Push with your faith, not with your fear. Breathe with my promises. The deliverance is coming on the heels of this final contraction. Now, watch for the practical pathways to open. They will often look like ordinary opportunities, but they will be supernaturally timed and connected. An email you didn't expect. A phone call that changes the trajectory of a conversation. A mistake that turns into a fortunate accident. A door that was firmly shut will be left slightly ajar, and as you gently push in obedience, it will swing wide open. Do not despise small beginnings. The first trickle of financial provision may not be the full sum, but it is the proof of the pipeline. Receive it with profound gratitude, for gratitude acknowledges the source and opens the valve wider. The first sign of healing may be a night of restful sleep or a moment without pain. Celebrate it. Name it as the beginning of the full manifestation. These small, tangible first fruits are my down payment, my guarantee of what is to follow. They are meant to solidify your faith and silence the last whispers of doubt within you. There is also a necessary release happening within you. As the answer draws near, I am asking you to let go of the old identity that was formed in the struggle. You have become accustomed to seeing yourself as the one who waits, the one who endures lack, the one who carries the burden. That identity was for a season. You must shed it like a worn-out coat to put on the new one I have for you. The one who receives, the one who stewards abundance, the one who walks in victory. This can feel strangely uncomfortable. There is a perverse familiarity in struggle. Freedom can feel disorienting at first. You may even find yourself tempted to sabotage the coming blessing because it feels unfamiliar. Resist this. Consciously embrace the new identity I proclaim over you. Say it. I am a receiver of God's goodness. I am a conduit of His provision. I walk in divine alignment and opportunity. Your self-perception must align with your new reality. Your circle of influence is about to expand. The testimony that is being forged in you is not for you alone. Your breakthrough will serve as a master key for others trapped in similar prisons. Therefore, I am preparing you to handle the platform that comes with the answer. The quiet time has been teaching you humility, dependence, and compassion. These are the essential qualities for a leader in my kingdom. You will not hoard the blessing, you will distribute it. You will not boast in your own perseverance, you will point to my faithfulness. The resources coming are not just for your comfort, but for your assignment. Start thinking in terms of stewardship, not just possession. How can what I give you be used to advance my purposes, to alleviate the suffering of others, to spread hope? When your heart aligns with this principle, you unlock a higher dimension of blessing. Blessing that is not consumed by moth and rust. Blessing that lays up treasure in heaven. The waiting has cultivated in you a sensitivity to my voice that is now your greatest asset. In the rush of new activity and opportunity that is coming, you must guard this above all else. The danger will shift from discouragement to distraction. The good can become the enemy of the best. You will have many new options, Consult me on every single one. The peace that guided you in the quiet must remain the arbiter of your decisions in the noise. Do not assume that every open door is from me. Some are tests, some are distractions, some are good, but not your assignment. Your spirit, now finely tuned, will know. That check in your gut, that lack of peace, that subtle hesitation. Heed it. It is my protection. Walk only where the green light of my peace illuminates the path. This discernment is the fruit of your suffering, and it is more valuable than the blessing itself. It will keep you safe and on course for the rest of your days. Finally, understand this. The answer I bring will surpass your initial request. You prayed for a financial need to be met. I am bringing provision plus wisdom, plus favor, plus new streams. You prayed for healing. I am bringing restoration of body, plus a ministry of comfort to others, plus a deeper revelation of my nature as healer. You prayed for a breakthrough in a relationship. I am bringing reconciliation, plus healthier boundaries, plus a testimony of forgiveness. I am an extravagant God. I do not do the minimum, I do the magnificent. I am not just solving a problem, I am launching you into a new dimension of purpose. So, when the answer fully manifests, do not be so focused on the thing itself that you miss the greater thing I am doing. Worship me for the breakthrough, but stay in awe of the breaker. The gift is a token. The giver is the treasure. The answer is coming, yes. But more importantly, I am here. I, and my presence with you in this process is the greatest answer of all. Your long-awaited breakthrough is ultimately just another occasion for you to know me more deeply. That is the core of all my promises. That is the essence of the answer. The momentum is now building, not as a gentle stream, but as a gathering wave. You can feel the pull of it in your spirit, a drawing forward that is both exhilarating and demanding. This is the point where many falter, not in the depth of the weight, but on the edge of fulfillment. The inertia of the old season has a weight of its own, a gravitational pull towards the familiar ache. To step into the new requires a conscious, decisive act of faith, a leap from the solid rock of what has been onto the path of what I have said. This is where your will must engage fully. You have cultivated trust. Now you must enact it. There will be a specific moment, an invitation cloaked in an opportunity that requires you to move in a way that seems to defy your current logic. It will feel like stepping out of a boat onto choppy water. Everything in your natural mind will calculate risk and scarcity, but the spirit within you, the one I have been fortifying in the quiet, will recognize it as the appointed step. This is your yes. This is where the internal assurance meets external action. Do not hesitate. The wave of my provision will meet you at the exact point of your obedient step. It will not come while you are safely analyzing the shoreline. The nature of the obstacles will change now. They will become more specific, more targeted, as if the resistance has been forced to focus its dwindling resources. Instead of a generalized fog of discouragement, you may face a very precise administrative delay, a sudden but minor health issue, a misunderstanding with a key person. These are not random. They are targeted strikes at the point of your greatest vulnerability or at the most critical link in the chain of your breakthrough. Recognize them as such. Do not give them more power than they have by descending into frustration or seeing them as a sign you are off course. They are signs you are on course, and the enemy is attempting a last-minute sabotage. Your response is not to fight the obstacle with frantic human energy, but to address it with spiritual authority. Speak peace to the storm. Command alignment in Jesus' name. Then walk forward as if the obstacle is already removed, making practical plans and moves that assume its resolution. This combination of spiritual decree and practical expectation is how you walk on water. In this phase, you will need to manage the influx. The first signs of answer will bring a new set of responsibilities, decisions to make, communications to manage, resources to allocate. This is the burden of blessing, and it is a holy burden. It requires the wisdom you have gained. Do not make decisions from a place of lack or scarcity mindset. You are transitioning into an economy of abundance. Make choices that reflect that. Be generous even with your first fruits. Sow a portion of the initial breakthrough back into my kingdom, into a person, a ministry, a need you see. This act of faith, done when the provision is still new and feels fragile, establishes the principle of flow. It declares that you are not an endpoint, but a channel. It breaks the spirit of hoarding and ensures the pipeline remains open. Be wise, but be open-handed. I am your source, not the resource itself. There will be people who did not walk with you in the valley, who will suddenly appear on the hilltop of your blessing. Some will be genuinely happy for you. Others will be curious, skeptical, or even entitled, feeling they should have a share in what you have received. You must exercise discernment. Share your testimony freely. It belongs to me and is for the encouragement of the body. But guard the sacred details of your journey and the specific instructions I give you for stewardship. Not everyone needs access to the blueprint. You have learned to hear my voice in the quiet. Let it now guide you in relationship dynamics. Set boundaries with peace and grace. Your responsibility is to be faithful to my directives, not to manage the expectations or emotions of every observer. A blessing that is divided by the opinions of men is often diluted. Protect what I am doing. This is also a time of accelerated learning. New skills you need will come quickly, almost through osmosis. You will find yourself understanding concepts that once baffled you. You will have creative ideas that are perfectly timed. This is me, downloading the necessary software for your new season. Lean into it. Be a student. Take notes. Be humble and ask questions. The provision is often wrapped in a process, and the process requires your engaged mind and will. This is not a return to anxious striving. It is the joyful application of a mind at peace, now free to create, solve, and build. Perhaps most importantly, guard your heart against a new subtle trap, the belief that you have now arrived. The breakthrough is a milestone, not a destination. It is a new beginning in a much longer, greater journey with me. If you mistake this for a finish line, you risk stalling, becoming possessive of the blessing, and making it an idol. The moment the answer fully manifests, lift your eyes to the horizon again. Thank me profusely, celebrate with gratitude, but keep your posture of dependence. The same faith that received the promise must now steward the fulfillment. Your prayer life must not diminish now that you have what you asked for. It must deepen, shifting from petitions for need to consultations for purpose. What now, Father? How do I use this for your glory? This keeps the relationship dynamic and prevents the blessing from becoming a tomb. Finally, remember that the culmination of this process is not just a changed circumstance, but a changed you. You are not the same person who began this prayer. You have been hollowed out and filled with more of me. Your capacity for joy, for trust, for resilience, for compassion has expanded exponentially. The external answer is simply the visible sign of the internal work. When you look at the provision, the healing, the restored relationship, see it as an outward symbol of the inward grace I have wrought. This is why the timing was perfect. Had I given you the thing sooner, it would have been just a thing. Now it is a testimony and a tool. It carries within it the story of your transformation. That is its true value. That is its eternal weight. So stand now on the brink. The wave of answer is cresting. Take a deep breath of faith. Straighten your back, not in pride, but in the confidence of a child who knows their father is good and keeps his word. The quiet time is ending, but the peace you found there must go with you into the noise of new beginnings. You are ready. Step out. The wave has not crested to crash upon you and recede. It has crested to carry you. This is a critical distinction. The answer is not an event that happens to you. leaving you drenched and disoriented on the shore. It is a sustained force that lifts you onto a new current, a new trajectory. You must learn to ride it, to move with its power, to let it take you beyond the horizon of your original request. The initial manifestation, the cleared debt, the healing report, the signed contract, is just the surface foam. Beneath it is a deep, wide current of grace meant to propel you into purposes you glimpsed only in dreams. Do not camp on the beach celebrating the first splash. Wade out, get into the deep, let it carry you. This transition from receiving to riding requires a shift in focus. Your eyes have been fixed on the lack for so long, then on the promise, then on the signs. Now they must lift to the horizon. What is this for? Where is this taking me? The provision is fuel, not the destination. The healing is strength for a journey, not the journey's end. The restored relationship is a reconciled partnership for a mission. Start asking bigger questions. The what of the answer is clear. Now seek the why. Within every blessing I give is embedded a commissioning. The money is for a mandate. The health is for a work. The peace is for a proclamation. Unearth that commissioning. It will give context to everything you have endured and make the weight of the blessing feel light, for it is yoked to a purpose greater than yourself. You will now enter a season of divine connections. These are not random social encounters. These are sovereign appointments with people whose destinies are intertwined with yours. You will recognize them by the resonance in your spirit and the effortless synergy of vision. Some will be mentors, appearing to offer wisdom at the exact moment you need it. Some will be partners, bringing complementary skills to a shared calling. Some will be divine beneficiaries, those you are meant to serve and uplift with the resources you now steward. Treasure these connections. Nurture them in authenticity and prayer. Protect them from gossip, competition, and transactional thinking. These relationships are the scaffolding for the next phase of building. Do not force them. Honor the rhythm I establish in each one. With new resources and a new platform comes a new level of spiritual warfare. The attacks will become more sophisticated, targeting not your faith in my promise, but your faithfulness in stewardship. You will face temptations of pride, of comfort, of misappropriation. There will be whispers to take the credit, to inflate your own role, to use the blessing primarily for personal luxury rather than kingdom advance. The enemy's goal is to corrupt the testimony, to turn the blessing into a snare. Your defense is relentless humility and radical accountability. Stay grounded in the truth that you are a manager, not an owner. Consult me on every major decision. Have trusted, spiritually mature people in your life who have permission to speak hard truth. Give generously and visibly. Let the flow through you be obvious. A moving stream stays fresh. A pooled blessing stagnates and becomes toxic. There is also a practical reality to manage. The scaling up of your life. Systems that worked for a season of survival will not suffice for a season of abundance. Your time, your finances, your energy, all will require new levels of intentional management. This is not unspiritual. It is good stewardship. Seek wisdom, read, learn, implement. Create budgets, schedules, and boundaries that reflect your new reality and protect your peace. This administrative grace is also from me. Do not let the chaos of disorganization rob you of the joy of the blessing. Order creates space for more grace. A profound change is also occurring in your testimony. It is moving from past tense to present continuous. It is no longer only God did, but God is doing. This living testimony is incredibly potent. Share it, but share it with the heart of a witness, not a star. Point to me. Detail the process, the wait, the struggle, the doubt, the peace, the sudden shift. It is in the honest telling of the whole story that hope is transmitted. Your story is now a lifeline thrown to others in their storm. Do not polish out the hard parts. The cracks are how the light gets out. Finally, and most crucially, You must guard the secret place that was forged in the quiet. The demands on your time will increase. The noise will get louder. The temptation will be to neglect the place of prayer, the quiet reading of my word, the unstructured moments of worship that have been your lifeline. This would be a fatal error. The branch cannot bear fruit if severed from the vine. Your newfound influence and resources are not a sign you need me less. They are proof you need me more than ever. The quiet place is your power station, your navigation room. Double down on your time with me. Let it be non-negotiable. From that place of connection, everything else, the decisions, the relationships, the stewardship, will find its rightful order and power. You are now crossing a threshold. The door of answer is behind you. A new landscape is before you. Do not look back with longing at the simplicity of the struggle, nor forward with fear at the complexity of the blessing. Look beside you. I am there. The same God who was with you in the prison is with you in the palace. The same voice that whispered in the dark will roar in the light. Our relationship is the constant. The circumstances were always just the setting. Walk on. The current is strong, but I am stronger. The purpose is great, but my grace is greater. You are not just blessed. You are entrusted. And I, who have entrusted you, am faithful. The landscape before you is not a flat, easy plain. It is a kingdom, with territories to be claimed, mountains of influence to be scaled, and rivers of life to be channeled into dry places. The blessing was your passport into this realm, but now the real work of occupation begins. This is where many become passive beneficiaries, content to live off the initial deposit. But I have called you to be a co-laborer, a ruler in the realm of my grace. The resources, the health, the peace, these are not trophies for your display case. They are tools for your toolbox, weapons for your armory. The season of pleading is over. The season of planting and building has begun. This requires a different kind of faith, not the faith to receive from me, but the faith to partner with me in manifesting my will on earth as it is in heaven. It is active, creative, and demanding. It is the faith of a son or daughter entrusted with the family business. This new terrain operates on a different principle, the principle of seed. Everything is a seed. Your time is a seed. Your money is a seed. Your words are seeds. Your acts of kindness are seeds. In the season of need, you focused on the harvest. Now you must become a master sower, strategically and generously planting the very things you once desperately prayed for. This feels counterintuitive. To give away financial provision when security is still a fresh memory requires trust that cuts deeper than the trust to simply receive it. But this is the law of the kingdom. Life comes through death of the seed. You must be willing to lose some of your blessing in faith, planting it into good soil, into people, into projects, into promises, knowing that I will multiply it back in due time, not just for you, but for the world. Your open hand must remain open. The challenges you face now are of a higher order. They are not about survival, but about significance. You will wrestle with questions of legacy, of impact, of true wealth. You will face the subtle temptation to build a monument to your own success rather than a highway for my glory. The opposition will often come cloaked in acclaim, in opportunities that are good, but not your specific assignment, in the seductive pull of a wider platform that dilutes your core message. Discernment is your most vital weapon. The peace that guided you through the valley must now become the governor on your engine, preventing you from running at a destructive speed or in a wrong direction. Learn to say no to good things so you can say yes to the God thing. Your yes is now a precious commodity. Spend it only where I direct. Relationships will be refined by fire. The blessing acts as a revealer of hearts. Some you considered close will drift away, uncomfortable with the new version of you or jealous of the change in your circumstances. Others will be drawn to you for what you can give them, not for who you are. This will cause pain, but it is a necessary sifting. It makes room for the genuine covenant relationships I am bringing, those who will celebrate with you without envy, correct you without malice, and labor with you without seeking their own glory. Pour into these relationships. They are your true wealth. There is a responsibility that comes with a testimony. You now carry a specific narrative of my faithfulness. This narrative is anointed to break specific strongholds in others. You must become intentional about sharing it, not as a boast, but as an offering. Write it, speak it, live it so transparently that the process is visible. Your story is no longer private property. It is a public resource in my kingdom. Do not hide the scars. The scars are where my light exits the wound and becomes a beacon for others. Your vulnerability will be your greatest authority. Guard against the slow drift of familiarity. The miraculous can become mundane if you are not careful. The provision can become expected. The healing can become assumed. The peace can become commonplace. Fight this drift with deliberate gratitude. Create rituals of remembrance. Celebrate milestones of faithfulness. Speak constantly of what I have done, to your family, to yourself, to me. Gratitude is the antidote to entitlement, and entitlement is the poison that turns a flowing spring into a stagnant pond. Finally, fix your eyes on the eternal. The kingdom you are now helping to build is not made of brick and mortar, of stocks and portfolios. It is made of transformed lives, of righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. The tangible blessings are merely the currency of this world that I have captured and placed in your hands to be exchanged for eternal treasure. Use them to feed the hungry, comfort the broken, preach the gospel, support the persecuted, nurture your family in faith. Every dollar sown, every hour given, every word of encouragement spoken in my name is converting earthly substance into heavenly weight. You are a transfer agent between two economies. See your stewardship in this light, and the pressure to hold on will be replaced by the joy of sending ahead. You are no longer a petitioner at the gate. You are a steward in the courts. The quiet trust you learned is now the foundation for a life of powerful, peaceful authority. Walk with the same humility. Listen with the same attentiveness. Obey with the same promptness. The scale has changed, but the relationship has not. I am with you. The answer was never the end. It was the doorway. Step through, and let's build. Listen closely now, for this final word is both a commission and a crucial understanding. The journey we have walked through, from the depths of quiet waiting to the breaking of dawn, from receiving the answer to stewarding the blessing, has been laid out before you in truth. This message, this specific series of words, was itself a provision for your spirit, manna for the wilderness, a roadmap for the breakthrough. But understand this: my work through this word does not end with you simply hearing it. The enemy seeks to isolate you, to make you believe your spiritual journey is a private transaction, a silent struggle with no connection to the wider body. This is a lie. You are part of a living, breathing ecosystem of faith. The encouragement you received here is part of a stream of provision I have established for my children, a stream that requires faithful channels to keep it flowing. This is where your stewardship takes a practical, immediate turn. You have been fed. You have been given clarity, hope, and direction. Now, I ask you to look at this very platform, at the vessel that carried this word to you. This ministry operates as one of those channels. It runs not on worldly wealth or corporate sponsorship, but on the faithful, viewer-supported offerings of those who have been nourished by its stream. The QR code on the screen, the mention of member-only content, the pinned comment about donations. These are not commercial interruptions. They are the practical, logistical reality of maintaining a clear channel in a noisy world. They are the equivalent of keeping the lights on in a house of refuge, the funds for the broadcast signal that reaches into your quiet room. When you support this work, through a super chat that affirms a truth that struck your heart, or through a membership that says, This stream of teaching is vital. Keep it flowing. You are doing several things in the spirit. First, you are breaking the spirit of consumerism in your own heart. You transition from being a passive listener to an active partner. You move from extracting value to investing in value. Second, you are sowing into the very soil from which you have just harvested nourishment. Your financial seed ensures this word continues to reach others who are in their own quiet, desperate place, who need to hear the same assurance you received. You become a link in the chain of my provision for someone else. Third, you are exercising the principle of the open hand right now, in the moment of your own receiving. You are declaring that the blessing is not meant to stop with you, but to flow through you. You are aligning your actions with the kingdom principle you just learned about, that everything is a seed. This is not about guilt or obligation. It is about partnership and the practical outworking of stewardship. It is about recognizing that the amen in your spirit should be accompanied by an amen in your actions. If this word was a lifeline for you, then consider what it is worth to ensure that lifeline remains strong and is thrown out to the next drowning soul. Your support, in whatever measure you feel led to give, is not a payment for services. It is a co-missioning. It is you saying, I am with you in this work. The word that freed me must go to others. So, as you stand now, on the other side of this spoken journey, with the horizon bright before you, do not simply close the tab and walk away fortified but isolated. Engage. Act. If the resources are now flowing to you, let some of that current be diverted here, not because the channel is begging, but because you are now a co-owner of the well. Your membership, your super chat, becomes a declaration of faith, a faith that believes in the ongoing power of my word to be broadcast, a faith that invests in eternal things, a faith that understands that the blessings of the kingdom are sustained by the faithful, grateful hearts of those who have received them. This is the final step of this particular journey, to take the hope you have been given and to concretely, tangibly help ensure it is given again, to move from audience to ally, to be not just a blessed individual, but a blessing point within a wider network of my grace. The quiet time taught you dependence. The breakthrough taught you gratitude. Now, let stewardship teach you partnership.